Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wellness Talks. I'm your host, Jonathan Ehrenberg. On this episode, I would like to provide everyone with a message of hope in the spirit of the holiday season. So no matter what you celebrate or where you are in the world, I hope you have a very happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all the other beautiful traditions that permeate the entire world. So I wish you much peace and happiness. With that said, I would like to say that many of us through the holiday seasons suffer quite a bit. It's not a joyous occasion at all, and further, it can exacerbate the feelings of lonely and isolation. And if you happen to have a mental health condition that intensifies the feelings of lonely and isolation, the holiday season can be almost unbearable. For example, post-traumatic stress disorder is always a battle against the gravitation of isolation. You're always fighting to not be secluded, and that's for that reason alone can be hard for the holidays, especially if there's some sort of family dynamic change or employment status or anything. Of course, that's enough to make anyone have a blue Christmas. But when you have suffered for many years with a mental illness, it does become more lonely on the best of days, and then you throw in the holidays, and for many of us, the worst case scenario thinking sometimes becomes predominant. And that I mean by a desire to end one's life. However, there is a silver lining in all this. In this day and age, we are constantly inundated with negative vibes, negative news, negative division. All of these things are making everyone I know feel overwhelmed, exhausted. Their mental resilience is at an all-time low. And I often hear people say, I hate people. And while I've been guilty of saying such things myself, I've recently made it a goal to stop saying such things. Because in fact, I don't hate people at all. And I don't think that many people who say that hate people either. I think we're just tired of being constantly available for bad news. Even if you somehow get away from it, it still permeates the air. For example, if you decide that you don't want to hear any more about COVID-19, you go click, turn off all your technology, and then you go to the coffee shop and someone's talking about either they want to be vaccinated or they don't believe in it or whatever the case may be. 100 more cases today and here and there. So it's really inescapable, and it's really quite a downer. So I think that's where the sentence, I hate people, comes from. And it's easy to kind of feel like, there's no one in your corner or people aren't supporting one another anymore, And it's true to a certain degree. I mean, isolation has certainly been a disturbing trend lately, and people going to work, coming home, shutting the door, and doing whatever they do behind doors. Whereas years ago, it was more of a community focus, and while it had its own challenges, it certainly was more connected, and that's a fundamentally important element of being human. more connection equals better survivability, both in a practical sense and in a mental sense. So in other words, if you feel supported, you will, or your chances of surviving your mental health condition are a lot higher, in my opinion, based on the data that I've read over the years. And with that said, we all have to do our part to reconnect, but we also have to do our part to reconnect, and within that reconnection, we need to find a way to forgive society, so that we can work on uniting rather than isolation and division. It's a horrible mixture for your mental health, and in that adventure, putting yourself back out there, challenging yourself to have a conversation with a stranger, for example, you will find that there are many beautiful, intelligent personalities out there that are loving and supporting and will help you as much as you would have a desire to help them. It's just like any other relationship building. You have to put yourself out there. So that would be the silver lining, is that when you feel as though the world is hopeless and that you're on your own and alone, you're not. You can go back out into the world and strike up a conversation and start mutual support networks. And for myself, I have been very fortunate enough to have so many supportive people, so many people that I care about, and so many people that care about myself. And the reason I bring that up is simply because I had to do a couple of things. One was just give up any pretense in terms of who I thought I was, and allowed myself to become this authentic human being that was already innate inside of me, which was, more empathic and willing to help others, and just kind and able to sit down and listen to people or offer a hand when they need it. And I gave up feeling silly for that. And now I have a lot more love for myself, and a deeper love and appreciation for those who are like-minded and action-orientated in this sense. So I have a great number of people that I help, and we mutually help one another, and it's an amazing thing. And so I encourage you all to maybe this holiday season to not only soak up the family time and stop for a moment and appreciate those around you, but also put yourself out there to create networks of positive relationships with others. And there will be those who you don't jive with, who are toxic people, who are people who only have their own interest in mind. But the way around that is to simply don't tolerate that kind of thing in your life. So embrace the good and push out the bad. And I think that your feelings of isolation and lonely will be minimized by your actions. And it's like anything else, when you're trying to get a healthier mind, action is required. So if you do that, you will notice a big difference in your journey. Having a social safety net in terms of people is an amazing gift, and it's a gift that you have to seek out. It's a gift that you have to give back to, but it is an absolutely amazing gift. And for some, myself included, it can be the difference between life and death. So please go out and start to form meaningful relationships through your authentic self, and you'll see a big difference. Okay, so I want to end it there, but I want to thank everyone for listening, as always, to the Wellness Talks. And also, I'd like to thank everyone who's purchased my book, The Road to Mental Wellness, a book that chronicles my lifelong journey with mental illness from the time I was a boy until now. Most recently diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm doing everything I can to work through that and get back to living. And as always, I want to thank everyone who follows our content and shares it on social media, and who follows us, as I said. And also, I want to always shout out to the loyal readers of the roadtomentalwellness.com. That's the blog. And of course, you can go there and read a lot of content there yourself at the roadtomentalwellness.com. And also, I'd like to thank the contributing writers that are there. I won't list them all today, but they have made the blog a much better platform in which we can share ideas and spread the word about better mental health. So without further ado, I'll leave you there. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk next time. Bye-bye now.